Greetings everyone, welcome to another episode of UJ Sport on UJTV. My name is Colin Maiba and I say happy 2024. Last year you've been with us, you've seen us here on UJTV for the past 6 months from June until December 2023, and we're opening this year with a very beautiful episode talking to Mr. Renele Apani about a UJ Sport app that he developed that we think will bring you all the beautiful features regarding sports. Now, you know that digital mobile technology has enabled a lot of people to perform various tasks that you might have otherwise had to travel for to access certain services such as scanning of documents, printing, buying food, banking, etc. With that improvement, companies, institutions, and even people have developed digital applications that make life easier, and the production of goods and rendering of services unfold effectively anywhere and anytime in the world. With us in studio today, we have Mr. Renele Apani, who has developed a UJ Sport app and is here to tell us more about its features and uses. He's also an athletics coach in the University of Johannesburg's Athletics Club. Sir, welcome to the studio, and how are you today?
Hi, Colin, and morning, evening greetings to the viewers. I'm doing good. Yes. We've actually developed an application, a UJ Sports application. This is an industry that I've been involved in for the better part of my life, actually. So it was fitting for me to mesh my two passions, sports and technology, into one thing for UJ. So this is where, the concept of UJ Sport came from.
Yeah, maybe for our viewers to try and understand why a UJ athletics coach would develop an app. Let's start there. What did you study and what do you do currently?
Okay. No, so I actually studied computer sciences for a year before. I flunked out. I actually studied in UJ, and then I moved from UJ to tax for a year, and then I moved from tax to the US. So I was based in San Francisco, which is Silicon Valley. This is where, all sorts of applications, technological advancements are virtually created. When you're there, you're surrounded by minds that are very diverse when it comes to creative thinking, especially on a technological side. So I guess you could say I was inspired by how, the likes of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Adobe, all of these guys were within walking distance from where I schooled. And so that's, I guess, where the main passion for development, technological development, came from. Ever since then, I came back home. I studied business sciences. I came back home. We developed an application called Kasi Menu. And it was actually quite successful in the township. So Kasi Menu was basically a play on Uber Eats or Mr. D, but more so for your township-based, market.
Yeah.
And with that, we've ran this thing for a number of years, drawing in, a lot of interest from the likes of Coca-Cola, Distel, etc. And we've actually managed to do wonders off of a product that is based off of a township, which is very unusual.
Yeah. Okay, what I want to understand is, have you always been an athlete in the past? Because I'm thinking you're an athletics coach, but you also studied technological stuff.
Yeah.
That's why you're interested in developing apps.
100%.
So were you an athlete before, and how does your athletics experience, come to?
100%. Yeah. So I was actually an athlete. I was actually a national champion, 2017. Our Southern Region champion, where, southern part of African countries come together and we compete as that champion there. I've been to various world championships, world students, I've been there. So I have actually I'm well versed, I would say, in sports, particularly track and field. In fact, that's majority of how my schooling was paid for. It was from scholarships that I've gotten from my participation in the sport.
Yeah. Who are some of the athletes that you work with here at UJ?
Oh, I work with a lot of them. Yotsebo Matsosos, Ritsiti Sipso Mlenga, Sabelo Dlamini, Jovial Mbisha, Cheswell Johnson, Karabo Sateche. I mean, the list is endless. I've got a lot of guys that have actually, paved the way, I would say, for excellence when it comes to track and field in UJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the app. What inspired the idea behind developing a sports app like this one?
Okay, so my perspective mainly comes from, the athletic side, because that's obviously where I'm more involved. And the thing is, there isn't really that much exposure from the track and field side. South Africa is known much more for soccer, rugby, cricket. These are the three big behemoths when it comes to sports. But the likes of track and field, your netballs, these are very good sporting codes, but there isn't really that much of exposure. So the idea came from how then do we enhance the viewership and the connection between fan and athlete in such a way where, athletes are then, they've got I guess fans have a more better visual and a connection with the athletes. And so this is where the app came from.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do with this is for the fans, especially from a UJ perspective, to have a much better connection and knowing who their sporting athletes are, what they do, what they've done, the clubs, all of these things. I wanted to bring these things into, one hub where people can then have easier access to.
Okay, no problem. And then what are some of the interesting features about of the app that you would say maybe this is what, if a fan is going to be in there, this is what they stand to benefit or enjoy, having access to the app. And if a student athlete is using the app, also can be able to do certain things or see certain things. I'm just interested more from a user perspective. If I go and download the app, what do I stand to benefit from the app?
Yeah, well, the nice thing about this app is that, it's a UJ sports app. So what that means is that as a fan, you've got direct access to all of these athletes that are involved in UJ sports, irrespective of whatever sporting code you like. You'll, from a user's perspective, you'll have things like access to, the schedules for whatever sporting code you like, access to profiles for whichever athletes you like to follow. You'll have access to communications. So we've got a fan space where fans can then interact directly with all the athletes. So we've created a nice social hub where these interactions are then possible, as opposed to, being on a different social media platform where you'd need to befriend these people, etc., etc. Whereas here, you've got direct access to them. Apart from that, you've got access to purchasing of tickets. So if there's a competition happening in UJ and you'd like to get access or purchase tickets to gain entry, you'll have the ability to do so via the app.
Okay.
If you're an institution perhaps and you're trying to maybe book out a facility, you have an ability to see all the facilities that are available and then be able to book them. So it's just an integrated format of how to bring sports together.
Yeah. So basically, from social media usage, they'll be able to read some articles from
100%.
UJ Sports, interact with athletes, book facilities, and buy tickets to attend any of the matches, whether it's
100%.
rugby, football, netball, whatever.
100%.
Okay, interesting. And then if I am a alumni or a staff member or a member of the public, and I want to use the app, what are some of the benefits in there for me, except to buy tickets or to look at people's profiles, like you said, the athletes? What else can maybe the alumni say I see the benefit or the use of having the app on my phone?
Yeah, so remember, with applications, there's a lot of variations to how you can extend to what's already there. So remember, this is a base product, and it's something that hasn't been done in the country yet.
Yeah.
So we are the first university to have done something like this. And the nice thing about this, I mean, especially speaking from, you know, a staff and an alumni perspective, is that these guys can also come in and then tell us what they would think would be beneficial to integrate into the application. As of right now, it's mainly because of the exposure of the athletes. You see, there's a level of pride that comes with knowing that your university is pioneering things that haven't been done anywhere else. And this is part of it. And I would foresee, you know, the alumnus and the staff being part of the growth of this thing. The ideas are always welcome, to see how we can enhance, you know, the usership, I suppose, of the application. What more can we add to be of benefit, not just from an alumnus perspective, but also from, you know, an athlete's perspective. So this is where, you know, the beauty of this community that we're trying to build comes in.
Okay. Yeah. And then some people would say, I'm using Android. Some people are using Apple products. Is it available for both Android and iOS?
Yeah, it is available for both on Android, Google Play Store, or iOS, Apple App Store. They're both there. They're both available.
How easy is it to buy a ticket from the app?
I think if you've got if you've used any form of application, if you've got a Facebook,
yeah,
or an Instagram, I suppose, it should be very easy for you to purchase a ticket, because the way it works is that you will then be able to select what type of sporting code perhaps you would like to purchase a ticket for.
Yeah.
Once you select that, then you'll get all your options readily available for you, and then you just basically continue on to buy.
Yeah.
Most of the purchases will be done online, just so that it's a little bit more convenient also for the end user. But I mean, we can obviously start playing around with the idea of having walk-ins, I suppose, depending on the types of partnerships we can create out of this app, where you don't necessarily have to purchase online only.
All right. And then how do we distinguish which one is the correct UJ Sport app if I go into an app store online? Because I know I've seen before, if I need to download a particular app and then you see other similar stuff.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish the UJ Sport app so that people don't install the wrong one?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there could be scammers out there or chance takers
that
would want to just, you know.
For sure. The nice thing with Apple, for example, you can't duplicate app names with Apple. So with Apple, if you just type onto your app store and type UJ Sports, whatever UJ Sports you find there, that should be the one. If there's usually also signatures under each app. If you don't see Renelo Aphan or Kasi menu on there, then it's probably not the correct application.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, apps I've seen with apps that I've been using with the different companies that I'm affiliated to, they would add new features into the app, or sometimes they would even abandon the old app because there's a new one that's improved, and etc. Are you looking at improving the app as the time goes by? And if yes, what are some of the things that you think you could implement into the app?
Always. So improvements is the way to go. There isn't, you can't really leave an application as bare as it is from the beginning, probably till the end. We don't even know what the end game is up for this thing. But like I said before, with the integration of the alumnus and staff, there's always an opportunity to share ideas. There's always an opportunity to make this application a little bit more robust. Some of the things that we even thought about as part of my team, were introducing fitness enablers on the application, where we encourage fitness for people. We also were thinking of adding things like AI, where you can start integrating with the AI chatbot, depending on whatever it is that you want. Particularly more on a sporting side of things, but there's multiple opportunities here to play around with any form of idea, especially if you can integrate this from a technological standpoint. I don't see any reason for us not being able to do that.
Do you think there are any limitations when it comes to the app for now? Maybe because it's a new thing, and you may not have implemented all the features that could feature onto the app.
Yeah.
What are some of the limitations in terms of capabilities for this app?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, you can't necessarily go into the app and try to apply for a course, for example. It's a majority sports-based application. We don't even have a feature, I guess, an e-commerce feature at the moment, which is something that, we would likely integrate very soon, where you could have, UJ apparel if you want to purchase etc. So these are the type of things that aren't currently available on the application, but it's definitely something that's within the pipeline, especially within the next few months. But we're just trying to give people access to this platform and see how the engagement is, and especially the feedback. I think that's where, most of us don't really look at, is that feedback is so important to figure out how or what direction to take with this application to make it even better, especially for the end user.
I know that it's not officially launched yet.
Yeah.
And we've got Varsity Rugby coming up, Varsity Cup Rugby Tournament. The first match, I think, for UJ is on the 19th of February, even though it's an away match. When are you looking at launching the app, and where can people download the app before even it launches?
Yeah, so
is it possible for people to download it?
People can definitely download it now on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. And to be honest, it's market ready as we speak. The idea would have been for us to launch it at home, so let the branding be visible that this is a UJ product. That's what I would have preferred, I suppose, where, the launch of an application that is this new, like I said, it's a pioneering, innovation for the university. And what better way to launch it than here at home?
At home, yeah. Definitely, sure. I'm sure our students, especially the new students, even the existing students that are returning to the university, will be seeing us talk about the UJ Sport app at the upcoming Varsity Cup Rugby Tournament matches, especially here at home at the UJ Wesdene Stadium, and some of the activations that we're going to have on campus. I just want to take you a little bit out of this technology talk. You have athletes that went to participate in the FISU World University Games last year. Your student athlete, as you've mentioned, Sebo Matsoso, has won a gold medal, one of only two for South Africa last year.
Yeah.
And he's a star. He's an emerging star. He was named the Sportsman of the Year last year at UJ.
Yeah.
Do you see him qualifying to represent UJ or South Africa in the Olympics in Paris this year?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when we start training, we train with purpose. And even last year, before the World University Games, this was part of the plan. We knew that he had the capabilities of winning that entire competition, and that's exactly what he did. In fact, Jovial Mbisha was also on there.
One of them, yeah.
So
there were how many? Four medals brought home for South Africa by UJ students.
Correct.
3 bronze and 1 gold.
Yeah.
So the gold and 1 bronze was Tsibo.
Yeah.
And then Jovial Mbisha, 1 bronze in the 4 ladies relay.
Yep.
And then the
Nhlanhla
Maseko as well in the men's 4x4. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the plan is to send some UJ students to the Olympics this year. We already have 1 student who's doing gymnastics, Caitlin Rosecrans.
Yes.
And how many students do you see from the UJ Athletics Club going to represent South Africa getting selected?
I mean, at the moment, there was a preliminary list that was taken out. We had 9 from our group, our training group, so which is phenomenal. I mean, it's a blessing. I think I can't shy away from how lucky I am, I guess, as a coach to have access to such talent.
Yeah.
So we currently have 9 on the preliminary list. So I mean, listen, the sky's the limit. We've got no limitations here, and we will always want to strive to make it as far as possible, in whatever it is that we do, even outside of track and field, if you might want to say that. But definitely, Olympics is a big target for us. There's many other competitions happening. African championships are coming up. We've got all Africa games coming up in March. These are big tournaments for us, and for most of these guys, or most of the guys that I coach, these are stepping stones to getting to where they want to get to. But 1000%, the talent pool that we have is incredible. And I think, last year we sort of made a statement. Even winning USA championships, that was, our performances were insane, and I'm happy to see this level of growth, especially in our sporting code. But yeah, for sure, Olympics definitely a major target for us.
Yeah. Renelwe, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you.
And I look forward to using the app. I've got it on my phone here, and I hope the users and the viewers at home will be able to download it. We need as much numbers as possible on the app. I'm sure it's going to be very beneficial to you. Please download it. UJ Sport. You can use it whether you use Android or use Apple products on iOS or the App Store. The Apple App Store, you can get that app for yourself. All right. In closing, we've got a number of competitions happening very soon. Some have already started this year, and we are very excited. For instance, our UJ men's senior football team has already won 2 of their ABC Motsepe League games. They only lost 1 to Highlands Park. We've already thrashed Jomosono's team, Mr. Jomosono, Dr. Jomosono, 1-0 in the opening match right here at the UJ Stadium in Auckland Park. And we also beat the Tembisa boys. We beat them 1-0 on the previous Saturday. And there's a couple of fixtures coming up very soon. Please come and support the team, especially when they're playing at home. We would like to see those numbers on the grandstands. On the 19th of February, the rugby team here at the University of Johannesburg embarks on its 2024 Varsity Cup rugby campaign. They are playing their first match away, and the second one here will be here at home on the Monday, 26 February. Please purchase those tickets. We would like to see you at the stadium there. For our first years, you are in for a treat. If you know that you've heard of university life and whatever, come through, purchase the tickets, and you will see what UJ is capable of. When we say #Orange Army, you will see what we mean by that. Of course, our ladies football team will also be starting their Hollywood Super League matches very soon. Netball this year will be hosting the USA Championships, and a very exciting season ahead for the Olympics as well. Right now, we're enjoying the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire. You've seen what Bafana can do, and I believe they can go all the way to the final. So, follow UJ Sport on Twitter, or X as it's known now. We are UJ_Sport on Instagram, UJ_Sport, and on Facebook, UJ Sport SA. Follow us for daily sport updates. We can't wait to share with you all the stuff that we're going to be doing this year. It's going to be a beautiful one. I'm excited for 2024. All the best to you, our student athletes. All the best to all our students, our fans, our supporters, the parents, everyone who supports UJ Sport teams and athletes. We say, halala, let it be a beautiful year. Thank you.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.